Cash
Okay.
will be next. Send Mickey your roster.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. Starting off with game 2 of week 2. Sending the all set to Brad, the Chatty Daddy, and Toblazin. And Brad leads off with Crawdaunt, which typically last time he was going for a Swords Dance setup build, and Steelix is kind of a physical wall here, but is weak to water moves.
Yeah, Toblazin prioritizing getting those rocks out over getting the sandstorm going.
And there is a water move, Stab Crab Hammer, which using Sturdy keeps the Steelix alive and goes for the Roar to try to get some Stealth Rock damage and pulls out the Aggron, which is kind of Brad's tankiest Pokemon.
Oh, and Battle of the Kaijus.
We see the Tyranitar send the Sandstorm, which doesn't affect Steel Pokemon like Aggron, and the physical move from Aggron is good, but Superpower also good. Earthquake probably would have been a little bit better there, and we see the Iron Head just straight up take down Tyranitar. Aggron is packing a punch here, and Nidoqueen could come out and maybe throw an Earth Power down. We'll see what he chooses to do. There's the Earth Power. Life Orb on the Nidoqueen. Ice Punch hitting it back. The Sandstorm won't affect either Pokemon here, and Brad will probably just let this Aggron go down.
Yeah, taking out the Tyranitar is a very big deal against Toblazin's Sandstorm team. But
And
for it, it's quite the price.
And Steelix is also at 1% health, so not much you can do with that. And Slowking can't take dark moves well, and Adaptability Crawdaunt with the Stab knockoff just one-taps the Slowking there.
Especially because he's naturally especially defensive, the opposite of his bro.
Now, Scizor is his Mega, so we'll see some more power here. The Superpower is a very strong move against Crawdaunt and faster because he didn't press the Aqua Jet. Sableye, though, coming in to try to probably get the burn on this physical Mon.
Yeah, Brad's typical lead coming in here later in the game. Big threat with the burn.
Burn cuts the attack, and the knockoff is nice to get the Rocky Helmet out of there, but with the Superpower debuff plus the burn, your Scizor is going to just hit like a wet noodle. Now, one benefit that Toblazin has is that he's got physical Mon left, which are good against Brad's team, but the Sableye with the Prankster Will-O-Wisp is going to be tough to get through, and the U-turn there, trying to get a little bit of momentum, swaps over to the Flygon, but with a similar problem. Oh, and the Will-O-Wisp misses! The Scarf also misses with the Dragon Tail! Toblazin just had his chance there and goes for the Dragon Tail instead of just trying to kill it. There is the hit, and swaps out the Gardevoir. You know, the burn on the Flygon, the damage is done. I don't know what else Toblazin is going to be able to do here in this first game.
Yeah, 1% Steelix, 2 burned physicals.
And yet again,
Moonblast.
there's a Moonblast. This Gardevoir is not the Mega version, so we see the regular Moonblast there. And Entei is ready to fight this Scizor, because Steel moves are not going to be very good against it. Now, he can Roost, obviously, but it's still going to just wipe the floor with the Scizor here.
I think Toblazin's only chance of making this one out is a bunch of Sacred Flame misses.
And then you got to deal with a Latias and a Gardevoir, so... And there's the one Sacred Flame, that's all he needs. And the Steelix with 1% HP will come back out, and we'll see an extreme speed to finish this off. All right. So Blazin was making it interesting, but that initial start there, losing the Tyranitar, was just a little too much to overcome.
Yeah, that is truly the backbone of his team. He can't play with it recklessly.
And as soon as their challenge gets out, we will get into the game too.
We'll see how Blazin adjusts now, knowing that the Mecha Aggron is a threat.
And I will go ahead and send them the all set here. Now, I think we may see a swap up here. The same thing from Brad, and Blazin decides to swap it up and goes with the Nidoqueen, but Nidoqueen is not going to be good against Crawdaunt. Crawdaunt with the Aqua Jet could just kill it, and the Crawdaunt is sashed there, and the Paralyze hacks, which is actually pretty important here, because if he gets fully paralyzed and Aqua Jet doesn't hit, Nidoqueen could just kill it.
So you're saying there's a chance.
And so Blazin swaps to the Sizor. The Paralyze didn't actually stop the Crawdaunt there, so Sizor will go ahead and get the Bullet Punch off and take it down.
I do like valuing your Nidoqueen. That thing can easily be impactful.
Oof. We see it again where the Sizor just immediately gets burned from the Sableye, but it gets the knockoff and removing the Rocky Helmet from the Sableye. Kind of an interesting item for Sableye. Because he's not very tanky, it's really mostly the typing.
Yeah, his stats are definitely lackluster. But that typing and the ability Prankster, everybody loves a good priority recover.
Now what's cool though is that because you're sending Sableye out against physical Mon to burn them, you know, the Rocky Helmet does have some synergies there. And there's the knockoff. This will take away Steelix's Rocky Helmet and proc the Sturdy, or remove the ability to do the Sturdy, and Steelix won't be able to get Stealth Rock with this taunt out.
Sableye has been on the Show-Yo Mon.
Oh! And that is huge from the Steelix. Stab Heavy Slam, and Steelix is a very heavy Pokemon, so that will do extra damage there, and he's not using Light Metal, he is using Sturdy, so lots of damage.
Sit on him. How's that even fair?
And there's the Sacred Fire doing most of Steelix's HP, but the Earthquake there doing a lot of damage. Sacred Fire will kill on a second attack, and it does. Takes down Blazon's first Pokemon, and here comes the Tyranitar. I like Blazon's momentum here in Game 2. You know, looking at Brad's lineup, he doesn't have a single Pokemon that flies, so we'll see what happens here. Tyranitar getting hit with a flinch. Pretty lucky there from Entei. Huge there, and we'll see if he gets a flinch hack again. He doesn't. The Earthquake will take the Entei down, but Tyranitar is already low. One thing that's with Tyranitar is with Assault Vest, he cannot heal, and ooh! That just shows you the power of Tyranitar surviving an Ice Beam at a super low HP. Woo!
Great comparison for the audience, seeing him take those physical attacks so poorly and then eat that Ice Beam like it's nothing.
Swapping back to the Sizor to take this Moonblast. The burn is going to do some damage there, and the Bullet Punch is strong. We'll see it come in there and hit the Aggron and just go ahead and kill the rest of the Sizor. Now, if you're Blazin, you really got to think how you take down this Aggron, because it did a lot of damage to you in the first round.
He also found his matchup then too in the Nidoqueen. Let's see if he sees it now and pops off those Earth powers.
If you remember though, the Nidoqueen took a chip Aqua Jet from the Crawdaunt. So I think that Blazin is worried about just being able to kill Aggron at all. Goes for the Flygon, which means stab earthquakes are coming. Aggron has Ice Punch, and it is 4 times effective against Flygon. He got the crit. I think it would have killed him either way, though. Oof. Tyranitar coming out with the Sandstream, and Aggron is probably slower than using the Sandstorm there in some capacity. That is really great. And Slowking to come out, but we saw Aggron is a physical mon here.
Damn, boy, he thick.
The Scald burning the Aggron is actually huge because Slowking, looking at the rest of Brad's team, he's going to have some typing moves there to really get the Slowking out of the way. Gardevoir, though, scooping up the Regenerator ability. And the Slowking does have Slack Off here, so we could see Toblazin use the Slowking pretty well. I'd like to see, the Gardevoir does not have a healing move, so he decides to swap to the Latias, and Toblazin goes for the Slack Off, full of healing. Back to the Latias, which is a specialty defensive wall, so it'll do less damage here.
The signal beam for coverage, though.
And I think Toblazin is realizing that he can't kill this Latias with just the straight-up signal beam. And there's a burn, which is pretty good. Latias is packing Recover, though, but he decides to swap it to the Aggron. Really interesting choice there from Brad. I don't know about that, because now this Aggron is probably just dead, and you're back to the exact same position you were, so I'm not really sure what that swap was there.
Even worse, the Slowking got to get that recovery off.
So Brad choosing to swap for the Regenerator damage, or healing, on the Gardevoir, but Brad just Slowking going to be able to send a Signal Beam at it, and maybe we'll see a Scald here to kill the Gardevoir. Does not kill. Just 3% HP left, and Slowking with the Protect. Maybe doing a little bit of scouting there.
Hey, those leftover ticks. Oh, double protects.
Double protect, going for the leftover ticks, and I think Toblazin's going to have to make his move here. He chooses for the third protect and gets hit by the energy
Why would he
ball.
not heal?
No, he needed to attack there. And
He needed to get the kill there. And he goes for the protect there again. I don't know what Toblazin is doing. I think he's just living on a prayer here. And he hits the protect yet again. The leftovers will tick up, and he has Regenerator. So, I just think Toblazin is just praying here. And there goes the Slowking. I think he had a chance, and
he had the game.
That was just not gonna do it there. Latias, though, sitting there in the background with Recover, is a very powerful mon, and not only that, very fast. But looking at this Latias, Brad did not bring Recover on it, so Toblazin had a chance, and that will wrap it up. Brad trying to give Toblazin a chance to come back there, but Toblazin just wasn't able to seal the deal, and that will do it for Brad versus Toblazin.
GG.
David, why didn't you click